Hi, this is Mr. Ng going over Chapter 1 test from Geometry of January 29th, 2015. If a line AB crosses line CD at point O, and angle AOC and angle COB must be. So draw a picture. So there's AB there, and you have CD. And notice how you have AOC and then COB. Notice that they're adjacent or next to each other, and there is a line, so therefore they have to be supplementary. Question number 2, what is the length of the line segment that joins the points whose coordinates are 4, 7, and negative 3, 5? So notice I labeled my order pairs. I always write down the formula or equation first, so there's the distance formula. Notice that subtraction sign here must be there. So your x1 value is 4, and your x2 value is negative 3. y1 value is 7, and your y2 value is 5. So 4 minus negative 3, that becomes plus, so that's 7. And 7 minus 5 is 2. Then don't forget to square those, so I have 49 plus 4. And then I have the square root of 53, and I cannot simplify that anymore. Question number 3, use the points in question number 2 and find the midpoint, capital letter M. So go back up to question number 2. I'm going to use those order pairs 4, 7, and negative 3, 5. So there's my 2 points. Label them x1, y1, x2, y2. Here's my formula. Write down the formula. Then your substitution. Notice how they're adding here. 4 plus and negative 3 is negative 1. And negative 1, 4 plus negative 3 is a positive 1, so I'll give you 1/2 comma 6. For question number 4, let's see. Some issues here. Let's try this. That works. Question number 4. Suppose the measure of angle ABC is 105 degrees. So between here. What is the measure of angle DBC? So I know that 60, 80. Oh, that's incorrect. That should have been 100. Okay, I'm going to go off and throw this question off, meaning I need to go back and collect your quizzes for this one, so I'll be throwing out this question because it doesn't make sense. ABC should have been 100 degrees. Question number 5. The measures of two complementary angles are represented by 3x plus 15 and 2x minus 10. What is the value of x? So when you see the word complementary, you should think blank plus blank equals 90. Substitute in those two measures. And then you combine like terms here. That gives you 5x. 15 and negative 10 gives you 5. Subtract 5 from both sides. And then divide by 5 on both sides. X equals 17. Choice 1. All the multiple choice questions are worth 2 points. Question number 16. What is the area of a circle whose diameter is 14 centimeters? So I draw myself a quick picture. Diameter means it's a chord going to the center, so therefore the radius is 7 and 7. So if my radius is 7, here's my equation for what is the area of the circle. Area equals pi r squared. Substitute in your 7 there. Remember that means 7 times 7. So you get area equals 49 pi. Question number 7. Compare the quantity in column A with the quantity in column B. So you essentially have two problems. So I call it A and B. This one says a perimeter of a square with an area of 64 centimeters. So I know that a square, all the sides are the same. They're all equal. So if the area is 64, the equation I can use area equals s squared and take the square root of both sides, and you get each side length to be 8. So now if I fill that all in, then my perimeter is 32. In column B, it says a perimeter of a rectangle that is not a square. Meaning it's just a rectangle, and then this two opposite sides are the same, but not all the 4 sides are the same. So a square with an area of 64 centimeters. What I did is the area, I did all of the factors, which means like length times width, or side times side. So 64 and 1, 32 and 2, and I did 16 and 4. So I have 16 and 16 and 4 and 4. 4 times 16 gives me the area of 64, but I'm looking for the perimeter of the rectangle. So that's what I want to compare. And if I do that, I get a perimeter of 40, therefore B is the correct answer. Question number 8. Draw a diagram showing a linear pair. So you need to draw a picture of angle JRE and ERB with the measures of angle JRE is 62 degrees and label the measure of angle ERB. So the first thing you should see is a linear pair, which means they're adjacent. There's a line. JRE, J-R-E, and then ERB. And then it tells you where the measure of JRE is 62 degrees, so there's 62. And there's also a hint here. You notice that two of the letters are the same in these angles here, RE and ER. There it is. There's their common angle array. Now it says label the measure of angle ERB. So ERB would be 118 degrees because there's supplementary. Give you 1 point if you did a linear pair. 1 point for correctly labeling the points in this order. Order is important for those points. Another point if you figured out the other angle to be 118 degrees because it tells you to label that. And here it says label the M, which means measure. That means an angle. That's a number. And another point if you measure angle JRE is 62 degrees. Question number 9. In the diagram, KM is the angle bisector of JKL. Find the measure of MKL and the measure of angle JKL. So if you notice the angle bisector here, one thing that you can do is put on these arcs. And the arcs are essentially telling you that these two angles, these two smaller angles are equal. So blank equals blank. So I have 21 degrees here. This is also 21 degrees, or total that would be 42 degrees. So MKL is 21 degrees, that's 2 points, and measure of JKL is 42 degrees. Use the figure of questions 10 to 13 for this diagram. True or false? A, C, D. So A is here, C is here, and D is back here. So essentially you're talking about this big plane in the back there. And are they coplanar? Yes, all of those 3 points are on this plane. Remember, you only need 3 points to be a plane, so that is true. True or false, plane ABC and plane DEF are parallel, so let's go ahead and find those. ABC and DEF. Yeah, those are the triangular prisms. Those are the bases. They're the bases because they're congruent shapes, and therefore they are parallel. They'll never intersect. And the last question, number 12 for the section. Segments AC, so here's AC, and BE are skew. And that is true because a skew basically means that they're not parallel. Now it says in this question here, what is the intersection of plane ACF? So ACF, so this back plane there, and plane, and the line segment DE. So here's line segment. Draw a line segment DE. Hey, I'm going to draw a line. There it is. What is their intersection? ACF and line segment DE. This one's also incorrect. We should have that should be plane or line segment DE itself. Another error, I'll be making that correction when I collect your tests. Questions 14 to 17. I have this picture, find JF, so here's JF, it's a segment, and I have these hash marks there, which means that C is the midpoint, so these are congruent, so your equation is blank equals blank, it gives me JC, and its information, so I substitute it there, and CF, there it is. Because they're equal to each other, you could solve for a variable x equals 16. Notice it tells you to find JF, so that's the whole segment, so substitute in x equals 16. Here I just chose CF, substitute in 16 for x, it gives me 32, 32 plus 14 gives me 46. But if you draw a picture, the whole segment here is not 46, it's 46 plus 46, which gives me 92. Find the measure of, on the board I wrote angle BCG equals 15 degrees. So here's BCG, I just recopied the picture and put 15 degrees there. And then GCJ. These are congruent, you also know that by their marks, so this is 15, that has to be 15. Find the measure of angle FCD. FCD. So notice how that is opposite of these two angles, that will have to be at 30 vertical angles. And find the measure of angle HCD, so HCD. We have JCH is 40, so I have 15, 15, and 40. You're only missing this angle, that would be 30 plus 40, and 110 will give you 180. And the last question is find the perimeter and area. If you wrote down the perimeter equation, I give you 1 point and then 1 point correct if you got 18 units. The reason why it's 18 units is that the perimeter of this triangle is 8 plus 5 plus 5. It's the whole shape there. You don't need the 3 for the perimeter. It's a common mistake. The area here is base times height divided by 2, so my base would be 8, and your height here is 3. Remember, your height is 3 because it's perpendicular. So 8 times 3 is 24, 24 divided by 2 is 12. 12 units squared is my area.